Right, this is Chief Honey Bear back with Seymour Sparechange, and we're talking about how his parents got married as a business arrangement.
Yeah, my mom wasn't biologically capable of having kids, so she needed my dad to kind of like make the whole adoption thing happen, and he needed her as cover to convince his bigoted parents that he wasn't gay, and that worked for a little while. But according to my mom, who told me this a while after they divorced when I was 12, they never had sex, and their marriage was entirely loveless and awful. And they kind of did the whole, like, we'll stay together for the kid thing, but I didn't like my dad, and he didn't like me, ever.
Well, you had brothers and sisters?
Nah, only child.
And so, what did your father do? What kind of work did he do?
He called himself an integration specialist, but he more or less handles computer-related. I got one.
What's going on?
He just threw me a mask.
Okay. Oh, this is Ernie's back. Ernie, please cover your mouth if you need to cough or sneeze again, because I don't want to get sick.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Cough in your ear.
Yeah. Please don't. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Fuck, what were we talking about?
You don't want to wind up like him. There's another guy, his name is Michael. He was born here, his mother's from Mexico, and so he's an American citizen and a Mexican citizen, and he decided to stay here because he liked the lifestyle. But he's going to go back to Mexico now because he thinks he can do better, like with this whole COVID-19 thing. It's not suiting him right now.
I don't think there's really any country to go to where they're not doing this bullshit unless, well, I don't really know that much about it because frankly, I'm every time I hear about this fucking virus, I just fucking mentally vomit inside. It pisses me the fuck off just hearing about it, because people are all worried about getting sick, but fuck that. The restrictions being put on all of us over this virus are insufferable, at least for me. Like, I'm just speaking for myself right now. I know other people prioritize fucking, ignoring the fact that your immune system fucking exists, and being all Howie Mandel about it and really gonna fucking save you because microbes are fucking everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm passionate about this. I hate this fucking virus because, man, it was hard enough taking a shit and charging my phone before this happened. There was little enough to do and enough, people would look at me as a bum, but now it's like, oh, you're fucking disease-ridden and shit. Like, people, they'll, really keep their distance and, we didn't all, only a few weeks ago, all of us, look at our fellow man without thinking, that guy's gonna fucking get me sick. He's a walking pathogen. He's a petri dish. We used to be able to share joints with our friends and fucking, share water with people on the street because fuck it, who gives a shit? We used to have unprotected sex without a second thought, and usually nothing bad would happen. And that's the thing. Usually, even if we're being unhealthy, nothing that bad ever fucking happens because that's what your immune system does. You know how I know that? I spent 3 years of fucking hardcore drug addicts. I didn't give a fuck about my hygiene to a large extent. You've seen those people, I was one of them. I stank of fucking piss and sewage and shit. I fucking slept in the nastiest little corners of fucking the nastiest streets of LA amongst cockroaches and rats and shit in the streets. I've been to Skid Row 4 times. I hang out in Hollywood, Venice Beach, and I never got so much as a cold. If anything, all I ever got were scrapes and cuts and blisters from walking or falling down or tripping or, track marks, shit like that. But all that was kind of just accidents and self-inflicted shit. I didn't get sick, and I was surrounded by filth. You know why? Because I got a good fucking immune system. Because being exposed to the it's like when people used to talk about, I'm gonna get bit by a snake or a spider and build immunity to the poison. That is kind of fucking possible, and it's definitely possible with germs. That's what you do. And fucking COVID-19 isn't everywhere. More people are dying from fucking other shit. Yeah.
Well, they're not even testing for it. They're testing for an enzyme which would show up if you have pneumonia, if you have lung cancer, if you have COPD, and they're not treating you. You go to the hospital, you have a respiratory disorder, and they say there's nothing's going to work. We're not going to give you drugs. We're not going to let you take supplements. We're not going to put you in a respirator unless you have $50,000. We're not going to put you in a ventilator, and then you die. And they wonder, you know, when Barack Obama was president, there were 165,000 deaths from H1N1 flu. It began in December of 2008, went into 2009, started here in the United States. No shutdown of the economy. This is something completely different going on. This is a conspiracy among world leaders to destroy the economy, to destroy the middle class.
The middle class has been hanging by a thread for quite some time, at least since the 80s, with Reaganomics fucking it all up. We're all hanging by a thread, and if anything really completely ends us, we've been able to do things to prevent it for the longest time. Remember that fucking waste of effort that was Occupy Wall Street? When we actually finally had enough rage to collectively take to the streets with our fucking feelings. Sure, whatever, man. And like, what did we do with it? We fucking camped out and fucking stank up a park for a while.
Oh, you were part of the Occupy movement.
No, I liked the passion behind it, but what they did with it was squandered effort, and it didn't change shit. I remember seeing on the news, they fucking, like, you'd see all the protesters, then the camera would glance up to, like, the top-up buildings where the Wall Street assholes were fucking looking at them out the window, and they were sipping fucking martinis with fucking cigars, just laughing like, look at that, the peasants are revolting, They weren't fucking phased. Why? Because we weren't doing anything but just deciding to be bums for a while.
Well, in May,
more gutter punks came out of that, but that genuine needed rage against the real people responsible that we had for one fleeting second since the 60s. Nothing happened.
In May of 1968 in France, there was a month-long general strike, and it shut the government down, and they changed the society. This
Other
time,
countries get shit done.
yeah.
We don't in America.
Well, this time, 3 months, a general strike in France, and what did they do right afterwards? They said, we don't give a shit because we don't need slaves anymore. The top 20% don't need anyone else now, and it's the beginning of extermination. They're going to kill everyone. In 2006, I video recorded Bill Gates at the Pentagon, and I have it on YouTube. And in a question and answer series, I asked him if he agreed that we should eliminate all but 500 million people. It's on the Georgia Guidestones, and he said not until April 24th, 2030, because that's when we'll have automation, we'll have robots. We won't need any non-Jews.
I don't know why we got the Jews, but fucking before that actually sort of makes sense. At the very least, the 2030 thing, because frankly, from a lot of different angles, at the very least, environmentally, yeah, humanity will be extinct by about 2030, or at the very least, our resources we will be fucked. Earth will be basically unlivable by 2030. I put a lot of money on that. I remember seeing a documentary a long time ago where it said if we haven't changed our tune environmentally by 2015, we were at the point of no return where it's like, recycle all you want, fucko, it doesn't matter. We're fucked now. We're already screwed, and we have really passed that point, haven't we? I know we're fucked, and I think all of us deep down know that we're fucked, that we're kind of just headed for Armageddon, and it doesn't matter, there's nothing we can do, and we're not willing to do anything about it anyway, because we haven't, and we've known better, and we still didn't do shit. I think deep down all of us are just a little bit self-destructive, or at least we don't really care to think about the brevity of things, the magnitude of our actions, because that might cause our little brains to hurt. The saddest people in the world are the ones smart enough to know how unfixably fucked we are. Pessimists are the smartest people in the world. Optimists are full of shit, because they fucking clearly don't understand fucking sociology or politics. Have you taken a look outside your window, sir? How can you say we have hope? We don't. Maybe you personally, you're gonna have a good couple of years because you're set, but collectively, we're fucked, man. Well,
you have a variety of emotions. There's a girl in in Scandinavia who she's on the cover, I think, of Newsweek magazine right now, who is totally frightening. She's an environmental activist, but she has no emotions except for rage, and I just don't think that's right. I think that there's more to life than just anger.
I think so too, but to deny that the bad is there is to cheapen the good because you have no contrast.
Mm-hmm.
People just try and live in these little bubbles of ignorant bliss where they're just, the bad of the world, they don't want to think about it because then it'll hurt more. And I understand numbing yourself away from shitty feelings, trust me, I do. But I'd still rather know why I'm fucked and when so that I can brace for impact, right?
So, is there something that is important to you that you would like to do, or that you would like a direction that you would like to see society go in?
I can wish all I want. Society's not going in any direction other than the way it's going. But I don't really wish or dream for much anymore because I just realized the futility of it. Like, I know we're all fucked in a matter of like 10 years, so it's more a matter of just do as much as I can that I feel I need to do to satisfy my own whatever. And, I can die content enough with that if I'm lucky. But I don't really dream any bigger than that. I make enough money to live comfortably enough on the streets. I do all right enough to be happy. I stay high and drunk. Maybe one day I'll do all that filmmaker shit I wanted to do.
Tell me about that. What do you want to do with filmmaking?
Wide variety of subjects. Basically everything but acting.
Are you going to go to school?
I don't need to.
So, do you have some? You're going to get some equipment? Or tell me what your plan is.
My biggest inspiration with film is the dude that did Red Cockroaches and Shane Ryan, because those dudes had basically no budget. They just had a couple of their friends, a digital camera, and their computer, and they made amazing shit. Red Cockroaches won like 25 awards, and it had a micro budget. Shane Ryan pushes the fuck out of boundaries and makes dark, real, raw shit, and it believable. And he's basically like, he started as a dude like me and my friends are gonna make a movie, and it turned into some good shit because he got good people as actors, and he had a good direction and passion to it, and he needed those stories told. And I want to do that. I want to make documentaries or things that are educational, but like fiction that are like meant to, tell a point. I want to do substantial shit with original shit that people aren't doing, that they haven't really seen yet. And I kind of want to get into advertising because the ads I see make me fucking sick because I know exactly what they're doing wrong and I know exactly how to fix it, but I know if I was on an advertising thing, I would be creatively stifled like a motherfucker. They'd never listen to me no matter how many good ideas I had. So I want to start my own ad company where I control all the content, and I maybe start just like doing ads for products completely for free, like,
Wait, you have no ambition to make money?
I make fine money holding a sign.
But I mean, with this company, the advertising company you're talking about.
Well, maybe when they see how good my shit is, they'll fucking pay me to fucking do like product placement or like do the ads for them. But they better know that like I control how the shit is made because I know that they don't have a clue what the fuck they're doing. Companies these days think that just by becoming a monopoly where it's like me or the other guy or just me or your only options, they don't have to try because who else are you gonna go to? No, you gotta try. Fucking, if you think your product is so shitty that it needs advertising, because real good things don't need ads in the first place, word of mouth is enough. Have you ever seen a commercial for heroin? Exactly. But if you're gonna advertise it, do it right, and they don't fucking do it right.
I think that's gonna be the title of this video. Have you ever seen an ad for heroin?
In quote marks.
In Chicago, they call it heroin.
Yeah, there's different names for everything everywhere. I love all the names for meth in California.
What do they call it?
Mostly Chris. Hey, you see my homie Chris? That kind of shit. I met a couple of people that were tweakers that like had their actual names were slang for meth, and I'm like, of course that's your name. Like I met a bunch of Crystals and Tinas and Chris's.
So when you saw my signs, you thought that I was on meth?
No, I said other people might think that because it just. I've written shit on meth that seemed like that. Like I had a tag one time that was Damien was high here. I'd write that everywhere I smoked because I was a reference this one time outside of 7-Eleven. I had a Sharpie marker and I had that meth head compulsion to just write crazy shit and scribble. Like you can't control. You just want to write crazy shit on any surface, your body.
We're at 15 minutes. We gotta stop here.